million inmates, all of them with fucking BBCs, and they all have AIDS. And it's like, Connor, can I just... And he's like, no, I'm gonna finish. You want the BBC prisoner gang orgy rape fest from hell. Okay. And I want to watch this because I also want to read his chat. This is what we get. So, oh, too long, didn't read, you guys. Here is the TLDR of what is going on here, okay? So, Counterpoints is any conversation that you watch that Counterpoints is a part of. Counterpoints loves to play the enlightened centrist. He loves to never take a single fucking moral position on fucking anything. He is a weasel. He is a snake. He is absolutely fucking pathetic in every single conversation he ever tries to participate in. And so as you all know, the Destiny leaks, right? That we've all heard about this. We've all seen this. We've all heard about this. We've all seen this. Yeah, the Destiny leaks. So obviously people that are in Destiny's orbit, people are wanting people in Destiny's orbit who have been friendly with Destiny to like come out and be like, this is fucked up, right? And in my opinion, it shouldn't be that hard to say that's fucked up, right? Like that should be generally a pretty easy thing to do and or say. Because it was fucked up, right? It was fucked up, right? So let me find this screenshot here. Okay, so this is from January. This is from January 21st, so this is right after the leaks, and we're gonna have a little bit of a cow crossing here. So this is from the leaks, okay, or right after the leak. So this is Brianna Wu saying, "I should probably be smart enough to keep my mouth shut about the Destiny and Pixie lawsuit, but here it goes." Then, I'm sorry to be blunt, but I'm not getting sucked into the Destiny bullshit right now. Trans policy is all I care about, and this is after this stream. So Counterpoints and Brianna Wu do a show together called Counterfire, and it's basically where Brianna Wu just like jerks off Connor and is like, "Oh, you're such a big, strong, masculine man, and you're so brave, and you're so strong, and blah 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 blah." And Connor's like, "Yes, Brianna, you're the ultimate enlightened centrist, and oh, you're so smart." Blah blah. It's basically just like a big circle jerk. So of course, after Brianna Wu was like, "Oh my god, I shouldn't talk about this. My friends are involved. I need to, keep a what the fuck is going on? I need to keep a reasonable distance, yada, 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 yada." Of course, she decided to come on Counterfire and then yap about how the Destiny leaks are this, that, and the other thing. Notably, I think something that is one of the biggest criticisms of everybody that's involved with all of this is like, people make really harsh condemnations of everybody except for Destiny because they want to cover their ass in case something comes up later that, exonerates them or exonerates Destiny or something. I don't fucking know. So in this conversation, we're not going to watch Brianna Wu's part, obviously, but she's yapping about how, oh, it's really it's really sad, like, oh, this, that, and the other thing. And then she's like, it's really unfortunate. It's just really irresponsible. And like, people were hurt. And I mean, it's just really not okay. And it's just like, yeah, obviously, like, I guess it's kind of bad. And then Lav is in chat and she's like, Lav is a disgusting little bitch. Lav is a disgusting little fucking liar. She's a fucking stain on humanity. And President Sunday, that guy is fucking evil. That guy is evil. All he does is evil shit, right? But then when they're like, okay, but what about Destiny? She's like, yeah, but Destiny, he just like does. Like sometimes Destiny says like the wrong thing, and I don't know, like everybody makes mistakes and everybody has those days and blah, 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 blah. So, and then Lav was like, bring me on. Brianna loves to talk shit. Bring me on. Brianna Wu fucking ran and cowered in her corner because she wasn't, just being endlessly fucking yes queened by the fucking audience and shit. She was getting one guide by chat the entire fucking conversation, okay? It's beautiful. If you guys want to watch this whole VOD, it's great. It's great content, okay? And you get a lot of really good from Brianna Wu's in there. So, so that said, so after Brianna leaves, of course, running Brianna, those 6'5" legs carry her fast and quickly and swiftly away from any kind of actual content that people want to see. Instead, she just wants a soapbox and yap. Queeman and Lav come on to talk to Connor about how he's being a little fucking Weasley liar, dude. And so you will notice a pattern that Connor is unable to make any kind of moral statements about fucking anything. And this is just like Connor's baseline. Pick a conversation that Connor has been in. Connor is unable to make a moral statement about fucking anything. He is a spineless wretch. Connor is a conservative. Connor canvassed for progressive victory. A conservative, a traditional conservative, canvassed with progressive victory. For why? Money. An unprincipled, spineless weasel little rat that slithers across the floor at an excruciatingly slow pace. Okay, so that's where we are. That's where we are. So, Freeman and Lav come on to ask Connor about his opinions about the Destiny leaks because he is unable to give his opinion on fucking anything. So let's see if they can do it.
Like, I support you. I'm sorry for, getting caught in the machine, bullying you on stream. Please spoke. My ally, my friend and ally. And yeah, Max is doing commentary on this just as everyone else on the internet. We're not hitching our boats and championing this. Obviously, this is something like JSTLK is speaking directly to the victims. He's having the information. I've only spoken to Pixie through maybe one DM saying, like, I support you. I'm sorry for, getting caught in the machine, bullying you on stream, that sort of thing. I've only shown Cherry support publicly, like on her post. I've not tried to get any more information. I'm not trying to be the newscaster for this or anything. I think I'm talking about it because I think anyone should be talking about this. Anyone who has been victimized by Destiny in any way, I think should be talking right now because there's strength in numbers. And I think he's a piece of shit who should never come back to the internet. And that's basically my involvement. For Brianna Wu to act like I'm making this about me, very silly. I'm only responding to this. I'm making this about me now because Brianna Wu has made it about me in accusing me of this. But otherwise, I've tried really hard, I think, to just sort of commentate the same way you have, the same way Queeman has, the same way that I mean, not even the way that Queeman has, because Queeman's like trying to get facts and like trying to report on it in a journalistic like way.
Yeah, so never underestimate Queeman. That's over the top. I wouldn't say journalistic, but sure.
Well, but definitely more like you're trying to get the facts, whereas I'm just kind of watching it unfold and reacting to
like
it.
Like an autistic cruise missile.
Sure.
And the other thing that is important to note is that Lav a long time ago was one of the first people to say that Destiny was like kind of fucking weird behind the scenes. So though it be tongue in cheek and though it be maybe convenient timing and what have you, she was vindicated. So I think that it's understandable that she kind of wants her moment in the sun to say, I told you so. Nothing feels as good as an I told you so does. Okay. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's crazy to me that Brianna Wu now has condemned me more than I think any other person online. I've never seen her condemn anyone the way that she's condemned me.
Okay. I think you and I have had friendly banter in the past. I will continue to try to do friendly banter, but I am just going to press you a little bit just because I think that there are things
Press me, Connor.
Okay. So the main thing, and I am being a douche about it, but I'm just going to say it because this is the cudgel with which you are repeatedly beaten. Is that
okay, before we continue a little bit here, just a sidebar, quick context for anybody who doesn't know. Lav kind of got the black mark of a liar because she alleged that Hassan Piker slept with her friend when her friend was underage. And she has not substantiated this in any meaningful way, but she has also said that the person who was involved does not wish to have any of this be public. So she kind of like foot in mouth moment said this or alleged this against Hassan Piker. But this, again, seems to be a hyperfixation of many people in Lav's character, which, is your right to indict her character for something that she can't substantiate that she said so boldly with her entire fucking chest, of course. But that's not the topic of discussion here. The topic of discussion is Destiny's behavior. And as we can see, the only thing that Connor is interested in doing is attacking Lav's credibility instead of talking about the meat of the issue here, which is Destiny's behavior, right? Good question, Josh. I don't fucking know.
Hassan Piker had an illicit but consensual affair with a friend of yours.
Okay. Again, I don't know what this has to do with the fact that Destiny has been accused of a sexual crime. So again, we can talk about me forever, and we always do. The problem is that this is always running defense for things that I've said about Steven that have turned out to consistently be true. Everything I have said otherwise, hold on, everything I've said otherwise has become completely true. I was sitting on the Lauren Southern information for 2 years, never came forward about it. I knew that Pixie and him had a sexual relationship. I've known a lot about the sexual impropriety, have not come forward about it. Because of fear or because of being called a liar, because I've learned to not say things without substantiating them, right? I will be the first one to say I should never have said in a Discord 3 years ago that I knew Hassan Piker had sex with my underage friend. And I have every single time this is brought up said I shouldn't have done this. I did not lie. There's a difference between a lie and an unsubstantiated story. I have said I'm not going to substantiate. The truth will come out when it comes out.
Technically.
It's not my problem. It's not my responsibility
to do. They're okay. And by the way, okay, if you want me to make some statement of contrition, some statement of agreement where I just say, hey, this Pixie thing is beyond fucked up, and I wish Pixie the best in her legal endeavors. I'll say it.
This
If you want
Pixie
me to say the same
situation fucked up is also running defense. The fact that you have yet to name
then
Destiny as
Steven,
a sexual
I
predator.
don't think I haven't said that Steven is culpable for what he's done. If you need me to say it again, I will.
Even the way that you're talking about it right now, your friend has been accused of recording a sexual encounter with someone without their consent and then sending it to someone else, and then recording something with a naive 19-year-old girl and sending that without her consent. These are sexual crimes. This makes someone a piece of shit. And you even now are saying, I saw you talk about Mr. Girl and the fact that he's doing like a Told You So podcast, and you're like, this is fucking insane. I've seen you react more harshly. I've seen you react more harshly to that than the accusations against Steven. It's insane.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't think you watched. So
for the record, she did watch because she was watching it live with Quimmin.
So what I can come up with my own phrasing, but I don't want it to be picked apart. So do you have a phrase that
okay, pussy,
I can say that would make you think that I actually do think Steven is an asshole and a piece of shit for what he did, and he does deserve the consequences that are coming his way?
Say Destiny should be on the sex offender registry.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that.
Why not?
Why not?
You don't think future partners have a right to know that this guy might be recording them without their knowledge when they have sex with them?
If you find me the Florida State statute that says that leaking sex crime,
and then like this is the ultimate brain rot, and this drives me fucking insane. And people do this all the time, and it makes me like irrationally angry. It's like if I ask someone's opinion on something, I don't need you to like cite me like a legal fucking statue, right? If I say, do you think that John stabbing Jane 27 times, do you feel comfortable calling John a murderer? And it's like, well, what's the legal definition of murder? It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. But that's not what we're talking about. Like, Connor is one of the few people in the entire world that genuinely makes me mad at the internet to listen to because he's so fucking stupid. Like, I'm like fighting my demons to not say slurs towards this man. Like, he is so fucking dumb, dude.
Or excuse me, leaking sex tapes gets you on the sex crimes registry, then I'll say we should.
Legal question. Yeah,
so you realize that we create laws based on like moral principle, right?
Shut the fuck up, Lav. You're being a debate, bro. Just let Quimmin talk.
Yeah,
sure. It doesn't matter that the law does not yet or will ever
hold on.
exist.
So if we're gonna be okay, so I was trying to start something. But if you guys just want to spurg out in a retard session, we can do that too. And I'm happy.
You say, what phrase can you say?
Okay, well, so I'll tell you that I'm not going to say that phrase. And the reason why I'm not saying that phrase isn't because I'm sweeping, quote unquote. The reason why I'm not going to say that phrase is because the sex offender registry basically means that you can't live certain places. You can't rent a whole bunch of places. It's very...
and that's all like, well, that's good. That's good. You don't want people that are like sexual degenerates or sexual deviants in society being around vulnerable populations. Like, yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You want people that are unable to respect the boundaries and consent of others to be away from people who have diminished capacity to offer consent and agency, i.e. like children, like disabled people, like, you know, shit like that. Like, yes, you want people that are predating upon and violating these different, you know, boundaries for people to be kept away from people who are at a higher likelihood to have their boundaries violated. Yes, that's like the whole fucking point.
Difficult to get jobs, and pretty much everybody in the world assumes that you're a pedophile. So you have to live in a trailer park along with a bunch of other pedophiles. Hold on, I'm not done yet, Queen. I'm not done yet. You asked me a question. I'm answering it. I'm gonna.
And then this is my favorite Connorism: is he'll be like, "Oh, so you want me to call Destiny a sexual predator? So you want him to be raped in prison for 10,000 years by 150 million inmates, all of them with fucking BBCs, and they all have AIDS." And it's like, Connor, can I just... And he's like, no, I'm gonna finish. You want the BBC prisoner gangbang orgy rape fest from hell is what you want. And it's like, no, Connor, that's literally not what anybody said. It's like, but bazinga. Bazinga. Like, what are you talking about right now? Fuck. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm going to continue the concept.
And there's also BWCs in there. There's also BWCs in there, so. This is totally zero behavior, you guys. This is something a zero would say.
No, I don't think that Steven belongs in a trailer park with files, broke and destitute. No, I don't think that's a...
Who the fuck
said
that? Who the fuck said that?
Broke and destitute. How's he suddenly going to lose all of his money?
That's where you want to go.
Well, I mean, you're asking...
And then Connor's the one that brought it up. He goes, oh, so you want Destiny to be raped and poor? And he's like, who said that he's going to be poor? He's like a millionaire. And he's like, oh, do you want to take it there? It's like, Connor, my king, that was you. Connor, my king, you're the one that mentioned poor. What are you talking about?
So you want me to describe how pedophiles who live it? Okay, so hold on, Queen. So instead of focusing, no, you want to make it retarded, I'll make it retarded. So, okay.
Okay, there's also average BCs, and WCs as well. Sorry, guys. DEI is getting out of control.
Say that
You made
too.
it retarded. You just made it retarded by coming up with some crazy.
No,
story about
you're
this thing and
no Queen. You're if you want to make it gay and retarded, we can do this. Okay. So
You just made it
your,
gay and
your
retarded.
main objection. Your main objection.
I need to get like a counter clicker so we can count how many times they say gay in the R word. Like, just. And Connor thinks that people actually like listen to him and value what he has to say. Oh, what a time to be alive.
To what I just said, which is no, Queen, and I'm not going to humor you by saying the sentence, is that Steven will still have money, so he'll be fine. So hold on, I'm gonna flip this on you.
No, I'm putting
You
out
want
the
him,
fact
you
that
think it's appropriate for him to live in a trailer park with pedophiles. You think that's an accurate consequence for what he's done.
I don't think that this is
I don't see
a
that as
productive
nonsense.
conversation.
That's
Do you
what
think
The Queen wants to fucking shitpost, so we'll
Connor,
shitpost. Let's go.
do you think that Destiny is a sexual predator?
No.
And why is that? What
Oh, no.
constitutes in your eyes a sexual predator?
I think a predator would be somebody who's like taking advantage of people who have no capacity or agency.
Okay,
No capacity, so you can only take advantage of people who are literal vegetables. Interesting.
so when you
Predator.
record
Class
someone
your
with that, when you record someone without their consent and distribute that, what are you doing?
I would say you're violating the consent of that person.
And what does that mean? It means that they are not able to have, you're taking their agency away from them, correct?
They have diminished agency,
Okay.
correct?
So is Steven a sexual predator?
Okay.
No.
He's so
Yeah,
dumb.
I'm not. Listen, guys, if you want to take a
No, this is like-
orbiter or former orbiter and get them to call him a pedophile because you feel like you're winning.
Is that the only thing? Is that the only? So Steven is not a sexual predator.
Like, again, Connor, and I just want to like take pause and dump a little Connor lore at everybody. Connor used to be like a cop. And he doesn't understand that the sex offender registry isn't exclusively for pedophiles. Like, rapists are also on the sex offender registry. People who commit statutory rape are on the sex offender registry. Fuck, even people that urinate in public are on the sex offender registry in a lot of places. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Until he
You know what?
fucks someone who's
I've already
underage.
answered 3 or 4 questions, so I'm just going to ask the question again because,
Okay.
again, this is the cudgel with which you're beaten over the head with which you won't answer.
Okay.
Did Paris Jackson
About
sleep with
Hassan?
Hassan Piker when she was 17?
Screaming. This can't be real. Chat, is this real? Chat,
It's
is this
real. I'm asking you a very straightforward question that has a factual answer, yes or no. I typically answer your questions relatively quickly. You can answer mine.
Relatively quickly doesn't even mean anything. Like, I relatively quickly answered your questions with bullshit. Oh, okay.
Question relatively quickly.
It is my belief, and I have alleged that Hassan Piker slept with my friend before she was 18 years old. Yes, I have repeatedly said this. I've repeatedly said this. I will not go back on it because I know it to be true. Hassan is not taking me to court. I await him taking me to court. I have continuously publicly said this. I don't know what else to do. Yes. What the fuck does this have to do with
It
Steven?
doesn't. I just wanted you to answer a straightforward question.
What does this have to do?
It doesn't have
Oh my
anything.
God.
to do.
It's like
Okay,
it's insane. Actually, it's insane.
No, it's
I
not.
think
It's actually,
real.
it's very sane. This is the one thing that people have been trying to get you to answer for a very long time. So
I have
how do you
answered
answer
this
said it
every
many
single
times.
time it's been brought up. I've
So
answered
every
it
single
the same
time that
way.
somebody has asked you, did Hassan Piker have sex with Paris Jackson when she was 17? You've said yes?
Yes, every single time. Every single time.
Okay,
yes.
first, I don't think that's a
You didn't say that earlier tonight, but okay.
Oh
my
my God. No, I said I'm
God.
not substantiating.
Death.
I said it's not. I said
Death
I'm
and
not
despair.
substantiating.
But it's true.
Yeah, I will go on record to say
Really?
yes. I believe that this is true. Yes.
That's fine. All right, you answered my question. We can move to whatever the fuck else you want.
Okay, Connor.
Okay,
So
great.
if you completely remove someone's agency by taking away even the possibility of them consenting to an act because you do it to them unknowingly, how are you not a predator? You have removed their agency and taken advantage of it. How does that not qualify as predation?
Okay, we're going to go autistic, so we'll just Google sexual predator definition real quick.
Gotta bust out the Google. Gotta get the Google Doc open. Like, how are you so fucking dense that you can't engage with like a simple question? Like, if somebody asks, in your opinion, what constitutes as murder? And you're like, let me get my dictionary out. It's like, can you not? Are you too stupid to think of a definition on your own? Because like, sure, you can torture whatever definition somebody gives to death, of course. But like, if somebody says, Malcolm, can you please define for me sexual assault? I could say, sexual assault is usually something like where somebody's consent is violated with like a physical trespass, where like it could be something like grabbing somebody's ass without asking. It could be slapping somebody's ass, giving somebody's boobs a honk. It could be any kind of like sexual physical aggression that you exert on somebody else without consent. And so somebody could torture that definition to death and be like, oh yeah, well, what about this example? Or what about this example? And like, that's all fine and well. Like, that's completely fine. But like, I don't have to go to the dictionary to like, be like, well, let's see what the Florida state statute is for what sexual assault. Because it's like, if I look up the fucking legal statute for sexual assault in like Iran or Iran, like, why am I like, if I'm arguing with somebody who lives in like fucking Belarus, and I'm like, well, I think sexual assault is this because this is what our law says, and they think sexual assault is this because of the laws where they live. It's like, okay, cool, we reached a complete fucking impasse because you have no critical thinking skills higher than that of like an acorn. Like, cool, we are dead in the water because you're too stupid to fucking pay attention to the conversation base.
And by the way, you could have Googled the statute by now, but I guess I'll do it.
The statute for what? There is a statute that's called sexual predator.
True.
Yes, there is. For people who are in order to get on the sexual offender registry, you obviously have to violate
I
certain
wasn't
laws.
asking a question about the law. I was asking morally, do you think this guy should be
Oh, shut up, you fucking homo. Yes, you were.
Connor, do you think that there are laws that don't exist that should exist?
Sure.
Connor, unlike you, I don't do legal analysis on Twitter, okay, buddy? So I'm not asking about the law. I'm asking about morals.
Did you not
hold on.
ask me
Connor,
in
do you
the
think it should be
beginning of
illegal
this
to
conversation
record
if he
someone?
belonged on the
Just gonna do
sexual offender registry?
Yeah.
Was that not a question that you asked?
Do you think Destiny should have a public record made that tells future partners that he behaves?
But you don't want a legal analysis.
Actually, yeah, I'm not.
But you don't want a legal analysis.
Correct.
Oh, fuck yourself, Gleeman. Let me read instead of going off.
Do you think it should be
So you
illegal
can't make a moral judgment, okay.
do you think it should be
Okay,
illegal
so-
to
No, he's
consensually
incapable.
record someone
What I'm
and then
getting
just
so
record
far
consensually?
seems like my instincts are correct, which is a sexual predator is the type of sexual offender who has committed a particularly severe sex crime. The term predator is often used to describe someone who habitually seeks out exploitative sexual situations. Differences between a sexual predator and a sex offender: severity of the crime, frequency of the crime, prior sex offenses.
And then he like just like fucking describes Destiny like somebody who goes out of their way and repeatedly, violates the consent of others, for personal gratification or whatever. Like he basically just like defined what Destiny did, which is fucking hilarious. Connor is sweeping it. Sweeping is pathetic. The topic is Destiny's sexual misconduct, and you can't stop attacking Lav for unrelated things. Based. This is Lav. Lavloon. Do you think people should morally know what Destiny has done? Yeah, I mean, like, should there be a list that says dangerous gooners to fucking stay away from? Should he be on that list? Yes. Okay. So, like, the sex offender registry. No, because he's not a fucking pedophile! It's like, legally speaking, I also love this because I don't know how well you guys can see my screen. I know that it's rather small, but I am enjoying reading the chat as well. Connor gets so fucking red, like a little plum tomato in this conversation because he's so fucking pissed. It's hilarious.
Type of crime. So no, I don't think that Steven should be deemed a sexual predator or go onto the sex offender registry for what he's done. No, I don't think so. I think
a moral position or a legal position?
You lot. This
Is
is
that
a
a
legal analysis based off of what I was able to pull up on a cursory search.
I'm not asking for layman legal analysis. I'm asking for a moral position. I'm asking about what you think, Connor.
And I already gave you an answer, which is no. I don't think that going on the sex offender registry is proportional to the crime he's committed. I already answered your question.
How do you make sure that women he interacts with in the future know that there is a significant chance he is recording them, even when he claims otherwise?
Got to get out the back massager.
I don't
stress
know
is
how to
killing.
solve that for the women who Destiny sleeps with. I don't know how to fix that for them.
Well, this
So
is
you
this is
just
what I
think you should
talked
be allowed to
about.
go on, or what?
Do you have a solution, Queeman?
Yeah, I think you should be put on sex offender registry.
Okay, I think you're fucking insane, but that's fine.
Okay,
I think there's several things that should happen. I think that there should be way more. I think that this kind of shows that like the liberal sex positive
All right,
attitude
that's
completely
enough. That's enough.
was
out of line.
mostly of course saying that
That's
there's a
enough,
guy
Alan.
there should be a
Enough.
behavior. I think that he
I
should
love
be on
silencing
something that
women.
shouldn't- It's habitual.
Ron,
at this
can
point.
you shut up for a second? You said something I would like to respond. So anyways, Lav, you and I both share the perspective that we are both fairly, well, I would say I am anyways, fairly sex negative. I don't like the positivity. I don't like the sweeping. Matter of fact, I think I wrote down a script the other week where I was like, and you can correct me if this isn't a summary of your perspective, was effectively that when you came onto the Twitch and YouTube political scene, you were concerned that young women were being recruited by OnlyFans and pro-sex sex workers to get into the industry at an age that was inappropriate for their like ability to consent to the concept.
Yeah.
And as a result, they were paying dire social consequences and financial consequences for their participation in sex work. Does that
Yeah.
seem like an accurate summary of your belief at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I are in fucking lockstep right there.
Mhm.
And not only that, like I am probably with you in lockstep as far as like this degenerate fucking Coomer culture that's permissive of all this bullshit. I think people 90
Coomer culture is when you violate consent. That's 100% what it is. Like, it's not like there's like entire subgenres of like goonerism and sex that is dedicated to like respecting and testing these boundaries in an ethical and respectful and safe way. It's not like that happens ever. It's not like the whole BDSM community has been able to function this entire time, committing like arguably what some people would deem as extreme sex acts with each other. And surprisingly, people come away not feeling like raped. Like, that's really weird. Yeah, it's not like you can be somebody who is horny and enjoys, porn or risky sex acts, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. You just immediately, become like a raper. Like, I don't understand this at all.
5% of people, 99% of people should be serial monogamous. They should have one partner that they stick with and that they're loyal to. And if they don't work out as a partner, then they break up and then they're loyal to their next partner and they move on from that. And what's happening right now in my fucking chat is there's all these fucking degenerate pieces of shit Coomer who want me to come your way and Queeman's way and say that Steven is the worst fucking pedophile piece of shit on the fucking planet.
No one
deserves
said
to be burned
pedophile.
at the fucking stake and he deserves to live on pedophile island in the fucking trailer park.
God, he's
but
so dramatic.
they don't admit that Coomer culture.
He's so dramatic. It's so female coded. It's like, oh my God, like, get off your soapbox and put away your tiny violin. Like, this is so fucking pathetic. Like, this is your alpha male. The man who can't make a monologue without, like, fucking crying and equivocating into the dirt. Jesus Christ.
I mean, to avoid pedophile
entire fucking situation.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously think you're taking artistic liberties when you say that. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think
over here, Queeman is like, fuck yeah, I want him to go on the pedophile.
Yeah, I think he should. I think Steven should not have access to women to abuse anymore. So I don't think that he should have a platform anymore. I think that will happen naturally. And I think that, yeah, obviously he should be
Hey,
so that when people Google the boy that they're going on a date with, the man they're going on a date with, they see that he's done stuff like this, so they can avoid it.
Connor, are you out there fighting for people who publicly urinate and get put on the sex offender registry? Are you out there campaigning against that, or do you think this is probably a more legitimate use case of the sex offender registry?
I'm not out there fighting for them, but I 100% believe that people who get caught pissing in public shouldn't be on the sex offense registry.
Do you think this is probably a better use case for the sex offender registry than people pissing in public?
Wait, sorry, what's that?
Do you think this is a better use case for the sex offender registry than people pissing?
On a spectrum of sex offense, I would agree that sending intimate images without the consent of the involved parties is more serious than pissing in public. Yes, I agree with that.
It's completely absurd because within our current framework, this would make total sense. Next, do you think that Destiny's behavior here is rooted in some kind of pathology?
Okay, yes, 100%.
Do you think you should have to inform partners that you have AIDS?
Yes.
Okay, so if Destiny has a pathology that causes him to harm people during sex, do you not think he should be required to inform future partners?
He should be required to inform future partners that he previously recorded sexual partners and released it on the phone.
That he is so unable, so pathologically fucked in regards to sex that there is a good chance he will harm you if you have sex with him.
No. Okay. And Queen, I'm actually.
And this is just like fucking brain dead. It's like if you can concede the idea that like it should be required that you disclose that you have like an STD before you have sex with somebody because there is a risk of harm there associated with behavior which is having sex with somebody who has AIDS. How can you not concede that somebody who has demonstrated that they have done this and will probably continue to do it, and then two, if you believe that they have a pathology that compels them to act this way, void of morals, completely degenerate in every fucking like literal meaning of the word, why the fuck is there not in it like a moral ought that you should have to disclose to other people that you are incapable of engaging with sex without harming other people? Because what Connor has been doing conveniently this whole time, because he's new age like fucking soy beta cuck fucking Christian, he believes truthfully that Destiny has like a sickness in his soul.
And I would also suggest that he goes and sees spiritual leaders, because I think there's a giant hole in his life where religion normally fills that hole.
That he has a pathology, like a sickness in his mind and in his heart, which diminishes like the accountability that he needs to take, right? Because it's not a sickness. This is something that he chose to do. He chose to behave this way. Therefore, you're taking away agency from him in choosing to do bad things and wrong things, for starters. But two, if you truly believe that it is this pathological sickness in the soul and that he's possessed by like a sex demon or whatever the fuck else Connor's like dumb brain can cook up, it should be required that he discloses that to people. If you have somebody who literally cannot have sex without raping, like they literally are overtaken by like an unseen force and they will rape anyone that they enter a sexual encounter with, it is a moral imperative that people are warned that that is how this person engages in sex. That person should be kept on the sex offender registry so people are aware of this behavior, and anybody who does any action to try to minimize or sweep or defend or hide this behavior is just as culpable as the person who is doing it. If you believe that this is a pathological impulse, then the best thing that you can do is put somebody like this on the registry, because that is how you keep people safe. If you believe that somebody has a pathological desire to like hurt other people in sexual encounters.
Hold on, I'm going to ask you a question. Based on your own logic, let's say that we have a 17-year-old who, and by the way, this happens all the fucking time. We have 17-year-olds who film themselves shooting pornographic content amongst each other, and they text and send it to each other. Do you think that those people should go onto the sex offender registry?
No, the children that are full agency.
Connor,
what if they're 18? What if they're 18? 18 in one day.
Connor,
Queenman's asking me all these fucking gay hypotheticals. We're going to do it. So 18 in one day. They send both parties involved are 18 in one day. Should both of those people go on the sex offender registry?
Sorry, can you explain the full story?
Shut up. So, Connor, how old is Steven? How old is Steven?
He's 35. But this is obviously on a this is on a spectrum, right? So we need to figure out where the line
Tell
is,
me
right?
the story. Give me the story. What's the hypothetical?
So let's say we have two couples, right? They don't know each other. There's female and male couples, or homosexual. I don't care what you fantasize about. One party films the other party during like a sex act, and they both know it. But then they distribute that pornography to another party without the consent. Okay. Then flip flop the reverses. That way we don't have to deal with gender dynamics, right? So you both have 18 years old.
I'm just getting fucked by solitaire, dude.
Without consent. Should those people go on the sex offense registry?
Yeah.
You're fucking insane. You don't touch real world graphs.
Fucked up things you can do, especially.
You know what? Maybe
insane.
the first time. Maybe the first time, no. Maybe the first time, no.
Sure.
The second
I would
time,
agree with that.
probably.
Well, and by the way, I'm with Lav here because basically, if let's say,
and then he's about to walk into like the worst fucking trap of his life because he's like, the first time, like, people should get grace. Okay, sure. I mean, everybody, I guess, has different feelings about that, but nonetheless, he's gonna say more than one time it starts to become a pattern and it's a problem. How many women have come forward and said that they were involved in these leaks? Like 6, 7, 8 now? Another one today. There's like a new one every single fucking day. Like, Connor will consistently set these standards. And then when whatever behavior he's avoiding criticizing meets that standard, he's like, oh, well, anyway, what's the legal definition? Like, he's such a pussy, bro. It's so upsetting to me. It's so upsetting to me. Like, what was it? He was talking to Mrow the other day. And Mrow was like, he was talking about how people who don't, like, fit into Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like, they're fucking failures, basically, right? So, like, if you start off at the bottom, healthy, like, lifestyle well-being or whatever, so, like, if you're fat, you already fucked up. And Morale's like, aren't you overweight? And Connor goes, yeah, but I work out.
So if you're fat, you're failing at the physiological level.
Are you not overweight?
Not really. I weigh 250, but I work out.
I don't think you working out has anything to do with you being overweight. You might be overweight a little bit. So you're failing there, right?
Well, I mean, I might be a little bit overweight, but I still work out multiple times per week.
So you are failing there. You are failing there.
No, I work out multiple times per week.
So you've set yourself up to be in a situation where you create the criteria and you're not able to fail at the criteria you've created.
No.
Yeah, you set the foundational building block for being like a well put together human being as being healthy and not being overweight, and then you're the fat fuck that you're looking to criticize. What are you talking about? What is it? Like, I can't, like, you have, this man was made in a lab. This is controlled opposition. Like, I refuse to believe that this is like a real fucking person. Like, dead internet theory is alive and well. Like, to not have failed in life, you have to do the basics, like not being fat. Aren't you overweight? Yeah, but like I go to the gym, so... Oh, okay. So being fat is not a moral failing suddenly. Okay. No, it's just like, it's because I work out. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Hey, Steven, hold on. I'm talking. I have a talking stick and you are autistic and retarded, so I would like to talk. So in the scenario, I agree with Lav, because if you commit this crime once, that could be a mistake, honest mistake, whatever. But if you have a dozen or a few dozen times that you have done this, then at that point, I do think that it would be an indication of predation.
Okay. How many times do you think Destiny's done it?
We know of 2.
I think that's
okay. Do you think he's kind of getting there? Do you think he's getting towards predation?
After 2? Yeah, we could get there.
Yeah, I mean, you said not first offense, maybe the second. 3, apparently. Anyway, we know of 3, apparently. I'm guessing it's Pixie, Cherry, grinder hookups. 4, in fact, if we count both grinder.
Yeah, we know about that as well. So yeah, there's 3.
Okay, so if I was a state attorney, okay. If I was a state attorney,
again, we're pivoting to legal shit.
Okay. Fuck. The statutes, and by the way, the legal analysis is
on 5 with Melina. Sorry, 5 with Melina.
Shut the fuck up when you don't care about legal analysis, because I care about legal analysis, and I'm a third of the conversation.
Wait,
okay?
also his ex, right?
Oh, Blue T 6. Blue T 6. Wow, this is stacking up quickly, isn't it, Connor? Wow.
Wow, it is.
Well, so, a sex offender.
Yeah, so at this point, you know what you need, because you care about this so much. You care about this.
You don't even need to care about it. You don't even need to care about it.
Queeman is the most virtuous orbiter here. He cares about women.
I don't think he
cares about sex offenses. He cares about all this. So Queeman, here's my advice to you. Since you care about this so passionately that you think that Steven should go to the fucking trailer park with the pedophiles, what you can do is you can line up those witnesses. You can get them to sign sworn written affidavits that they have that they've had revenge porn leaked against them against their consent. You can have them sign on the dotted line where it says that they're willing to prosecute. You can get a state attorney in the state of Florida in order to get it done. And then you can work with that state attorney in order to make sure that it actually gets pushed through the courts. And then when he catches half a dozen felonies, all like 3rd-degree felonies all at the same time, then he'll go to Pedophile Island. And because you care about this topic so much, I know that you're going to dedicate the next few months of your lives in order to do that, right?
Why would I do that? Why I'm just giving my opinion.
Whenever we pin you, it turns into why do you care so much? You don't even care that much.
Yeah,
like I don't know why.
I know why you care, Lav, and I don't think I ever said that about you.
You don't even need a good motive. You don't even need a good motive. Obviously, he did something wrong.
Who
You
said
don't need a
different?
motive.
You,
said different?
Well, it's
Connor.
yeah, I guess it's the fact that you like will not.
Yeah, you're being asked for an opinion on this. You're being asked for a
You
stance.
keep
So you
minimizing.
You said, how do I convince you that I actually think about this the way that you want me to? And I gave you an example. Now, we've been arguing over the whole sex offender thing. I don't know why it suddenly comes down to, well, if you care about this so much, but that's not the point. We were talking about what our prescriptions are here, what we think of the situation. What our opinions
well,
are.
if we're just sharing our opinions, Queeman, if we're just sharing our opinions, then you two think that he should be on a sex offender registry, and I don't.
Okay, so could you give me reasoning for that? What's wrong with my reasoning? Why do you think?
Yeah, because on the spectrum of crime committed by human beings, there's sharing nudes in videos, and then there's forcibly raping people. And I think there's probably
the severity spectrum argument, like, just it doesn't work here, because the question isn't like, what is the severity of the punishment correlated to the severity of the crime? It's, do other people have a right to know that somebody is engaging in risky potential violations of consent during sex acts? Do other people have a right to know? And I mean, if you say no to that, like, you're done. You're dead. You're a zombie. You're a vampire. You're a level 0. You're a no good. You're a no good. Okay, you will be fed to the basilisk. Okay, because you have rocks for fucking brains.
Spectrum of crime in between that are not as serious. Lav, shut the fuck up. You asked a question, I'm going to answer it. So there's a spectrum of sex crime here, right? So I think that rapists and pedophiles should probably be killed by the state. Okay.
Real town square.
And then I think that people who send pornographic images should probably receive civil penalties and maybe some criminal penalties depending on how reckless they are. So that's my spectrum.
What's the list?
But you're saying that you want him to suffer a consequence over here, and I'm saying that it's not that big of a consequence.
So you think fathers and rapists should be killed, and people who share unconsensual material should be given civil penalties? Who's the list used for?
Pedophiles.
But they're not just pedophiles.
Well, I mean, I would kill them, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm talking about how it's used now.
Yeah, who's on the list to you? Who should be on the list?
The list is a death row list.
No, the sex offender registry. You fucking retard.
Yeah, I wouldn't keep sex offenders around.
You wouldn't have any sex offender registry. There's no sex crimes you can think of that people shouldn't be killed for, but should be put on a list for.
Well, I mean, you're smart. You got that Jewish.
Why call him a predator?
Listen, I'm in here.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I want your opinion on something. You're smart. Figure it out. Literally, please take this man's internet access away.
Beaten up by 2 Jews. This is an important point. Queeman, this is an important point. I am surrounded. I am a.
And then he'll like Sunlock to say, this is an important point, and then he'll just like meme. Like, he's like the king of tap dancing around fucking conversations and deflecting and bringing up irrelevant shit that nobody's fucking talking about. He's just like a yap machine. A really good video if you want to watch it, if you want like more of this, because, oh god, is it just like rage inducing, but in the best way. There's a video of Connor, and he's arguing with Destiny and Pisco about actual Justice Warrior, and Connor is like incapable of answering a fucking question, like literally incapable of answering a fucking question. Not to promote Destiny's content, obviously, but if you're ever fucking bored, that video is, oh my god, it's like you want to pull your teeth out and make a cute little dainty necklace with them because of how fucking infuriating it is to listen to Connor tap dance. It's crazy.
Gaelic Goyim, and I am surrounded by 2 Ashkenazi Jewish people who are super intelligent.
I'm barely Ashkenazi. I'm Mexican.
Well, anyways. The point
Lav
is
is also claimed to be black as well, so there's not a race that she isn't. So she's our diversity hire.
Like, realistically, you keep asking me for solutions, but I know that both of you are wildly intelligent. So what do you think are?
Hey, what is your solution to this problem? You're really smart. You tell me. No, I want to know what you think like should be done about this. I don't know. You're really smart. Why don't you tell me what it should be? Okay, I think it should be this. I think that you're insane. Okay, well then, what do you think that the solution should be? I don't know. You're really smart. Think of something. I already gave you it. And what was that? This thing. That's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. Okay, why? Why are we even arguing about this? Why do you care? That's the whole conversation. You're welcome. Thank you for coming to my performance.
For the crimes that are in the middle that warrant a sex offense registry, but don't warrant a death penalty.
Connor, it's the fact that we named 6 things.
Why don't you just answer a question instead of being a fag about it, Queeman?
It's the fact that we named 6 different
There's no in between to me, Connor, because that endpoint doesn't exist. I'm asking for
your you're a pussy. So
for once, could you give an opinion?
We're just friends sharing opinions here, Queeman.
You pathetic wretch.
I'm not a Queeman.
Which crimes do you think?
Queeman.
Which crimes? Name them.
Queeman. In real life, I would eat you.
Like, have you ever seen a man more fragile in his masculinity that the first thing that he goes to is like, I would fucking kill you in real life. I literally would kill you and your mom. What did you just say about me, you little shit? I'll have you know that I served 3 tours in Iraq. It's like, do you not have like an internal cringe barometer? Like, you want to talk about how gay everybody else is. Like, that's the gayest shit I've heard this entire conversation. I would eat you. Oh, would you, Connor? Huh? Okay. Like, dude, how fucking pathetic of a man do you have to be? Where, like, as soon as you're losing a conversation, you're like, I would literally, I would just, like, fucking kill you. Like, literally, dude, like, I swear to God, like, you have no idea. Like, I can bench press, like, 90 fucking pounds, dude. Like, I would fucking kill you.
Like, you are 5'2" and you weigh
Real?
110 pounds.
Real?
I could choke you with one hand and I could eat your body in a single meal. So don't say coward, don't say bitch, don't say pussy, because if you ever came within 6 feet of me, you would die. You would die.
Let's bring this back to a
You would
useful
die.
conversation, shall we?
You would die. So
He's
anyways,
such
Queen,
a fucking...
because we're just
And look
friends
at how fucking red he is. He's such a pussy.
here, sharing our opinions. I've asked you the question 3 or 4 times now. I would like to hear an answer.
3 or 4 times.
Why don't? No, I asked you a question.
I asked you a question.
I asked you a question. And that question
Okay,
was,
fine.
I would
Okay,
like
fine.
to
Take
hear.
your cocks out. I'll be the judge. Fine.
I have a nice one. So anyways, the point is,
I hate this guy so
what crimes
much,
do you
dude.
think lie in the middle that warrant a sex offense registry?
I mean, pretty much any sex crime, I think should be on sex offender registry. So
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
it goes from
Any
child
sex
molestation, rape, recording without consent, a bunch of crimes I could list off.
Okay, so
Not
you think,
disclosing
a,
an
rape,
STD
you,
before
you
sleeping with
think
someone.
a rapist and somebody who records a sexual audio log should share the same penalty?
Nope,
So this
I
is the
think rape
problem.
should get
Hold
more
on,
prison
can I
time, Connor, but they should still both be on the registry.
Let me talk. Queeman is.
Well,
Let
why
mommy
the
talk.
fuck
Let
would
mommy
you-
talk, Queeman. Let mommy talk.
I will be respectful to women.
Okay.
Lab always cucking the content.
If you, I don't even know how to have this conversation with you right now.
Lab, you're ruining it.
We've
You're
given now
killing
6
his
different instances
momentum.
of a pattern of Stephen releasing things without people's consent.
Okay.
One, it's so by itself, I think out of 10, recording someone, showing it to someone else, 10 being like rape, 1 being like coming up to someone and saying you look good tonight. I think probably on its face, if it was private and without like a global public stage, the Pixie situation would be like a 6. I think the Cherry situation would be like a 7 or an 8. Given what we know about,
Yes,
given this
rank
being
their
completely public and
trauma.
the damage that this
Yes.
could personally do to Pixie, especially given the fact that she like wants to dedicate her life and career to this space. This could damage. This is irreparable damage to her. So I think that makes it a little worse. And then also the fact that this is
Here's a really interesting question for Connor, since he's really fixated on like the harm that's done, right? Where he's really fixated on, oh well, I wouldn't put this and this in the same category because the harm is not the same. What if you have somebody who was raped, but they just like they don't care? They're like, no, like it really doesn't bother me. It wasn't that big of a deal. Shit happens. That's like just life, I guess. Like I don't care. I'm not mad at the guy. Like I don't care. Would Connor suddenly be okay with that person being a rapist then? Probably not. Like, tangible harm done doesn't mean, just because there's not like a tangible harm done to somebody, does not mean that you can't condemn the actions of the person that committed harm, right? Like, you could look at somebody who's like the perfect date rapist and they, you know, roofie somebody, they rape them, and then the person never knows. And no bad outcomes are ever incurred by the individual who is assaulted. We can still condemn the actions of the person because they violated somebody's consent. They've demonstrated that they're willing to violate the consent of others in a very violent and inappropriate and horrific way. But there's no harm. There's no harm done to the individual. The individual does not suffer a harm, but we would still condemn that person. And Connor, Big Dick Connor, would skull fuck them to death in the public square and then shoot their body with the M60 that he stole from his, like, fucking mall cop job. Like, and then Connor would eat their corpse, apparently. I don't know, like, where, like, what is this even? I don't even understand.
that we know now through multiple direct messages, private messages, that Stephen has a blackmail kink, and he's played out this kink with multiple people and asked people to do it. And now suddenly he's saying, "Oh, I'm not even going to look for the leaker anymore because no one cares." I think that this story is
Tom is only sweeping in chat because Tom wanted his Destiny harem and then he never got it. He got Mantis. And he's pissed that his harem is literally Mantis. That's his harem. He thought that he was going to get in good. He thought that he was going to be able to have all these girls that he could record fucking, but instead he got Mantis. Good job.
is even more nefarious than you're willing to admit.
Another Tom W.
So I think that he raped someone forcibly? Is this a Brock Turner situation? No, but I don't think that that's the only sex crime you need to have done to be a sex criminal. Obviously, he has a pattern of habitually doing things without women's consent or without men's consent. Obviously, he has a sadistic pleasure in releasing these things to people without consent.
So
it doesn't make any sense to not call him a sexual predator. We named 6 instances of sexual impropriety off the cuff, and we don't even have all the information yet. So
okay, so let's presume, for the sake of conversation, that we have half a dozen women whose porn was shared without their consent, and Queeman thinks that he should be on the sex offense registry.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't live in the real world, and his country currently lets out rapists at like 5 years. But
You've got no idea what you're talking about.
do you want to look up the fucking grooming gang fucking like release?
Yeah. You're going off of a Twitter misinformation post that was talking about how some girl got.
Okay, why are you guys doing this? We're having a conversation.
It never actually received a 5-year sentence. They all got life. But anyway,
Okay, hold on.
You okay? So hold on. You want to do? Dude, this was in the fucking Lonerbox link. You.
Connor is just like the king of not knowing how to read. Like he is the conservative boomer who sees a clickbait post on like Facebook and it says Joe Biden legalized pedophilia in House bill today, and he's like, holy fuck, and then he just starts tweeting about it immediately. He doesn't even read it. He's just like, true, yes, he did, I agree. It's so funny. He's so stupid.
Fucking loser. You're making shit up live on
the case. You're talking about the case. Was going on Twitter.
This is something that Lonerbox linked me.
Where a grooming gang that quadruple penetrated a 12-year-old or something got 3 to 5 years according to some Twitter post. But it wasn't even true. If you went and looked at the case, the guy who facilitated.
No, that's not even what I'm talking about. Okay,
go for it.
That's not even what I'm talking about. Queen, that's not what I'm talking about.
Do you mean the prosecution guidelines?
You have literally the UK government fucking website saying that the average length of sentencing is 4 to 19 years.
What's the average sentencing in America? What is the average sentence for rape in America? The average sentence for rape in the United States is around 212 months or 17 years. The average sentence for offenders convicted of sexual assault or abusive sexual contact was 60 months. The average sentence for offenders convicted of statutory rape was 43 months. Connor! I'm crashing out. Connor, please. Please.
To 19, that's a pretty big range, Connor. The average sentencing is 4 to 19 years. That's what it says. That sounds like a retarded fucking webpage you're reading, Connor. I don't know where you found that.
It's your country's website, you fucking
4 to 19 years is the average. Show me that. Show me that right now.
It's literally .co.uk.
4 to 19 years.
Stuart Mill Solicitors. It's your fucking lawyers.
It's my lawyers. It's my lawyers.
Yeah, they're in the UK.
He's so stupid.
Queeman.
I don't think, does it matter whether or not we want to talk about the pedantic argument of whether or not he should be on a registry?
Well, whether or not Europe is loose on fucking rapists, which, no, it's a side tangent.
Yeah, I don't think it's even. I don't think
if Europe is loose on rapists, so is America. Like, what are you talking about? You can't pretend that we're the bastion of justice for victims of rape when Brock Turner was in jail for he was in jail for he was in jail for 6 months, wasn't he? How long was Brock? See, Connor, I'm looking it up because I don't know. See, Turner in prison. Brock Turner was in prison for 6 months. God, I'm good. Yes, I was correct. Yes. So the UK is easy on rapists. America is a bastion of justice and virtue for victims of rape and sexual assault. But a man who was interrupted in the process of raping a woman with several witnesses only served 6 months in prison. When he was literally interrupted in raping a woman, he got 6 months in prison. Oh, okay.
Not relevant. Obviously,
okay,
at least publicly.
Queen wants everybody who's shared a fucking nude to be a sex offense register. Okay, got it. So in Steven's case, actually, this is the question. Yeah, how long do you think he should be incarcerated, Queenman?
Until he's dead.
No, I would love a meaning-free answer. How long should Steven be incarcerated for the offenses that you currently know about?
I don't have a particular length of time for incarceration.
Oh, you're being a pussy. Why don't you own something, you spineless fucking coward?
Well, I think there's an argument to be made.
I do think he's on the register. That's why
there's an argument to be made that he actually. I don't think that he would benefit from prison time. I think it would behoove the
world
no
incarceration,
to have him
on
a registry. No, I think it would be a good idea for him to not face jail time. He's not going to get jail time, but I think having a permanent marker on his record when any girl he ever dates or has sex with Googles his name, that there is something that says that he has done this. Yeah, I do believe that is actually completely fair to do.
Okay. So, all right, just summarizing your guys' perspective. You think that when Steven moves into a new apartment complex, he should have to walk around to all of his neighbors and say, hey, just to let you know, I'm on the sex offender registry.
Yep.
You think that he should be registered onto a website where people know his address?
I'm not even
gonna go.
That he has going forward that he's a sex offender.
Yes.
And you don't think that he should be incarcerated for his very serious crimes, but he should 100% have his housing and possibilities of employment extremely limited.
So not every sex offender has to announce themselves to the neighbors and community.
Great.
So he actually wouldn't have to do that. Do I think that every time a woman Googles his name that she should see that? Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you for coming on and sharing your guys' opinion on how much punishment Destiny deserves. Very nice.
Well, I mean,
You
it's,
literally asked for it, bro.
No, I've given you quite a bit of opinions. As a matter of fact, you've gotten fucking ass mad about a few of them.
You've dodged giving any basis for them repeatedly. Every time.
Queenman, please ask me a direct question and I will give you a direct answer.
Yeah. Do you think Destiny's a sexual predator?
I already said no.
Okay. Why? When you said that if you get up to like 6 or like a dozen people, why is that the marker? But Destiny with 5, you can't start to make that determination.
Because according to a summary
Because according to the fucking government website definition
of Florida
I'm
laws
gonna
and
die.
definitions,
I'm crashing out.
sex predators are repeated offenders of people convicted of first-degree felonies, while a sex offender
crashing
is a
out.
person convicted of certain sex crimes.
recording
So
someone.
I think
record,
he's
it actually is a
maybe-
first degree felony too.
I think he
record
is
someone without the consent to
maybe.
send it.
I said he's maybe a sex offender.
I'm
I
crashing
don't
out,
think he's a sex
dude.
predator, according to the definition that I just looked up.
Crashing out.
Okay, so what he did with Terry, if
Hold
it's
on,
true,
I need
he
to
would
point this out.
be-
Hold on, Queenman. I need to
Connor,
point this out to your audience because I need to
Connor,
know
Connor,
that
he-
you're
if-
actually just an argumentative bitch, but you don't actually like understand the
Bitch.
words that you're saying. So you said Connor.
Says Connor, who has walked into every trap known to man. He is like, the Viet Cong love to see this man coming because he will walk into a booby trap, crawl out of it with like a fucking bamboo pole, like drove straight through his chest, waddle forward and fall right into a fucking other one. Like, this is the ideal target for like the Viet Cong in tunnel warfare because this guy cannot stop walking into holes.
I haven't owned a position this entire conversation. And not only did you asked me the same question. Hold on, shut the fuck up, you fucking moron.
Basically, what
Shut
you
the
did is
fuck up.
you pulled up
You're
a
the dumbest
specific
Jew.
definition for Florida.
Your Ashkenazi
About what
IQ
a
did not come
sexual predator
through.
is. But if you
Stop
search
it.
sexual predator definition
Stop it.
anywhere on the
Stop
internet,
it.
that's not the definition.
Stop it.
You'll get
Stop it.
something more
Stop
like
it. Stop it. Stop it.
The
I'm gonna
President
hold you now
Sunday
because your
tactic.
audience is actually too fucking retarded to understand
The
something.
President
I'm
Sunday
not listening to
tactic.
you. I'm just
Get
gonna keep talking
him.
until you're done talking, and then I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say anyways.
Get him.
Which is rape.
Okay, so I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say anyways. So you asked me for opinion. I gave you the same opinion 20 minutes ago. I
No, you
answered your
didn't.
question directly.
It was totally
2 minutes
different.
ago, you accused me of not owning a single stance in this.
I would have like literally fucking. I would have been on cloud 9 if Queeman would have clipped. If somebody would have sent Queeman a clip of Connor saying like, "Yeah, I think after like 3 or 4, you should be on like the sex offender registry," and then him saying like, "I literally never fucking said that, Queeman." Like I would have. Wow, that would have made my life. Like, why did nobody clip that and send it to him? Like Connor literally saying just that. That would have been so funny.
entire conversation.
Yeah,
So does your gay
faggot
faggot
with enough
fucking
I disavow.
With enough-
loser fucking audience understand that you lied about something that happened in this conversation, or are they still like sweep? Connor's just sweeping for Destiny. Do they understand that you were wrong about something?
A position you also took in this conversation was that given enough recordings, sexual recordings, you would consider someone to be sexually predatory. Now you've walked that back because these would be third-degree felonies that would never meet your definition for
There you
sexual
go,
predator.
Get him.
But a
Yes.
moment
Yeah,
ago,
because you didn't give me enough time to read the fucking definition because you kept interrupting like a little
you
bitch.
can find many different definitions of sexual predator. That one you've pulled up isn't the only one. I'm asking, what's your
Connor,
definition?
you're being
of sexual predator,
autistic.
Connor?
Your
Because you
stance should not be
earlier.
Google. Your stance should not be Google. Your
True.
stance should not be. I googled this.
Yeah, my stance isn't Google. My stance is the Goldman Wetzel Law Office interpretation of Florida laws and definitions.
This is just me being a pedantic little bitch, and I'm just gonna say it. I fucking hate how Tom says "yeah" like this. Did you peak in like 2004? You can't say "yeah." He's like "yeah." Like I hate that. Like, are you typing in fucking Connor's chat on a Motorola Razr? What are you fucking doing, dude? Yeah. Okay, shut the fuck up, Tom. Shut up, Tom!
You guys love lawyers. I know you guys love Pisco. You love Pisco Liddy. Why don't you love Pisco Liddy tonight?
Connor, you've just decided your definition of sexual predator just tonight, reading that.
So you admit
Yeah.
you admit he's a sexual offender.
I will admit that he's likely a sexual offender. And by the way, here's
Likely.
by the way, here's the thing.
He's such a pussy.
Y'all
Such a
also
pussy.
probably need to come up with the Florida state statute that actually convicts him of something. Because right now, because there's a gap in the law, like there's what do they call it?
Wait, I have a question. And you're gonna love this.
There's voyeurism. That's a charge, but the statute doesn't apply.
He's
Then
just
Connor would be unable to answer the question. How would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning? He is so bitch woman coded. He literally is more female than Lav. It's incredible. Like this is a biological female, you guys. This is incredible.
There's
Gooner.
cyber sexual stalking, which doesn't apply.
He's just-
And
he
it
just got
seems
too
like the
horny.
law that Sherry might be able to prosecute under is a non-consensual recording. So if you guys are so convinced that he's a sexual offender, I would love to see a fucking crime that
He's married and also has children.
he's violated.
I have a question.
I'm calling him a predator, and I don't base it off of the law. I'm going off of sexually predatory actions he's taken because I have a definition of sexual
yeah,
predator.
you also think Anna's so retarded that she couldn't consent. So I get where you're coming from.
Yes.
I think Stephen definitely has sex with women who have that don't have the agency to say yes to Stephen. Yes, I would actually die on that hill.
Okay, so I'll ask you another question.
I have a
Do you
question
think-
first, Connor.
Okay,
I have a
but
question first.
do you think Anna is so retarded that she can't consent?
I don't think it's so retarded. I think that there's multiple things going on. I wouldn't maybe put Anna in that bucket, but I would put someone like Baby Peach in that bucket, someone who I think should have like a caretaker who lives with them. He should not be having sex with. Yeah. And not only that, but taking videos with her.
Also, does anybody remember when Destiny debated JF Gary Epi? And it was like around JF Gary Epi like wanting to marry and quote put babies in this girl that was like so developmentally delayed that she had a guardian of the state, and she only knew JF for like a couple of months only online, and he was trying to like fly her out to come and live with him so he could quote make babies with her. And Destiny was like, it's fucking sick and disgusting that like the only kind of women that you go after are women who have a diminished capacity, because it's like so very obvious that you're predatory and like predator coded. And then he like exclusively goes after BPD queens who like are just very unwell, just very, very unwell. And I have nothing but love in my heart for people who struggle with mental illness and diminished agency and all of these other things. But like these are the very people that he should be kept away from now, is like some young, inexperienced girl who's maybe, you know, a little autistic, maybe a little mentally ill. And then he's like, no, trust me, like I'm really good with boundaries and consent, and like I am really good with girls, and like I know how to fuck, I know what I'm doing. You should come over and fuck me. And she's like, yeah, okay, that actually sounds pretty based. I think I'd like to try that. You seem like pretty trustworthy because I'm autistic and have diminished capacity and I'm probably mentally ill. That sounds reasonable to me. I'm going to do that. And then he records them and shares the images without their consent to other girls because hot. Like anyone else just like uncomfortable with the energy that we've created in the studio? Does anybody else feel like uncomfortable with the energy created in the studio today? Like, I think that if you have somebody who is like so mentally ill that she's like having a public breakdown and threatening to kill herself on stream multiple times, i.e. Anna, yeah, I think that that's like the exact kind of person that you shouldn't be questing after. If somebody spends hours on stream crying about how they're going to kill themselves over this drama, yeah, I would say that's somebody with diminished capacity. I truthfully would, yes. Stop talking about Destiny's dick, stop.
Her and sending videos to her of other people as well.
This was prior to Mama JF. Rest in peace, Mama JF. Everybody, F's in chat for Mama JF, please. May she be found, mashallah, okay? That air horn for Mama JF. Sad. Rest in peace, Mama JF.
Yes, I believe that like is
May Allah guide you home.
genuinely probably some form of rape. She's like obviously to the point where I don't think she should live alone. So yeah, I think that that's also proof that he's a sexual predator. But
okay.
what I was going to ask is, okay, let's say that I did lie about Hassan. Let's say that I completely lied.
Do not walk it back, please.
No, I'm not walking back. Let's say
he's so stupid. Let's say that I hypothetically lied. So you're walking back your claim. I just want to like scoop my brains out with a nice old vintage ice cream scooper. Just, you know, I imagine that's not like, just take it right out, please. What I wouldn't give to be Rosemary Kennedy.
Lied. Am I then a liar?
Yeah.
And then this dumb fuck is like, you told a lie one time, therefore you are a liar. You predate against women sexually one time, but you're suddenly not a sex offender. Curious. A sexual predator, whatever the fuck, okay? Like, and then this is the guy who, in the conversation about fucking, actual Justice Warrior, in that fucking conversation, he was like, well, I can't peer into the soul of actual Justice Warrior and determine that he's a liar. Just because somebody tells one lie doesn't mean that they're a liar. They might be dumb.
And pretend that he's read it. At what point what is your threshold for lying?
Probably like 6 lies.
No. I mean, like, no, to call, because you didn't even admit that was a lie.
Sure, maybe he's retarded.
Like, Connor, please, can you, like, write stuff down? Because, like, you'll say something one day, and then the next day, you say the completely fucking opposite thing. You need, like a fucking, you know, like the big art easel Crayola notepads where you flip it, you know, you had when you were little? You need one of those, like, on your wall. And it's like, today, January 27th, I said, one lie doesn't make someone a liar. 7 instances of sexual predation make somebody a sexual predator, and then you're gonna rip it off and you're gonna stick it on the wall, and then on January 28th, when you go to have the exact same fucking conversation, you could reference your chart. you can look back and say, oh, fuck, yesterday I said that one lie doesn't make someone a liar. How will I proceed with calling Lav a liar for one lie? Connor, please.
So if Steven sexually predated on someone, does that make him a sexual predator?
I'm not going with your fucking gay ass lame fucking layman.
Yeah,
fucking
he can't answer
No one is
anything.
Destiny.
He can't answer anything.
Listen,
Vosh is a pedophile.
here's
Vosh
the
is a
thing.
pedophile, though. Vosh and food
He's
shop
horny. He
Dude,
for
dude, this is hilarious, dude.
Queeman, I
You
heard
the
the
legal
other day.
definition of sexual predator for Destiny, but when Food Shops watches Lolly, it's not the clinical definition of pedophile. It's just
Oh, true. Oh, so true. He was like, Food Shops is a fucking pedophile, which I agree, by the way. Food Shops is a fucking pedophile. Like, this is fucking disgusting. Like, oh my fucking God. Even though, like, technically speaking, by the very strict textbook definition, like, you wouldn't, like call her that under the very, very, very strict, rigid textbook definition of pedophile or whatever the fuck. But he was very happy to do that. But even though Food Shops was a pedophile for yoinking it to Lolly, Vosh wasn't a pedophile for yoinking it to Lolly. Why? Gestures vaguely at the wind? I don't know.
you're a pedophile. That's interesting, isn't it, Colin?
Wait, you know what's also interesting, Queeman? I seem to have heard. I was listening to a Queeman stream the other day, and I heard Queeman in a very calm voice.
T'ha dedicat donatet $10 truc superchat. Un piquen di lobotumi referents I canta el but com a back to the channel agan antagan antagan.
Thank you so much for the $10, TT the Cat. It is very true. Rosemary Kennedy is my what do white people call their spirit animals? What is the appropriate phrase for a white person to invoke a spirit animal? What is that? A fursona? Is that a fursona? Rosemary Kennedy is my fursona. There you have it. All right, guys, I have terrible news. Guess what? We have extended past girl time. Because I have to make dinner, you guys. It's a little bit late. I went a little bit later than I said that I would. My tulpa, sorry. Rosemary Kennedy is my altar. Thank you guys for holding me accountable and making sure that I don't get canceled. Thank you guys. I'm gonna put the link for this video in here for you guys if you want to finish it. This is the rest of the video. This is the rest of the video. Okay, like literally, it's just the same thing. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I think there's like less than 10 minutes left in this, and it's the exact same fucking thing again and 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 again. And then when you think you're done, they do it again. Okay, so yeah.